Right, Assalamualaikum, Azim and Nadi.
Waalaikumsalam, madam.
All right, okay, so please make sure that you record this. All right, okay, so you can start whenever you're ready. Okay, all the best.
Okay, madam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and very good evening to Madam. My name is Muhammad Adik bin Muhammad Azhar and he is my partner for this assignment, Ahmad Azim bin Zakaria. Today we would like to talk about cybersecurity incident trends and classification. Before we start, before we start, I want you to think about something. How many of us today has checked our phone, log in into student portal, or we having a meeting right now? Or we also use e-wallet today, right? So we live our life online, but as we have shifted to this digital platform, a darker trend has followed us, which is cybercrime. It's gone from annoying spam emails, calls, message to a massive national security breaches that can shut down the entire country infrastructure.
All right, so moving on to for the next part, I will begin with the credibility of our data and the background of this topic before moving on to chart number one. So first is in terms of credibility, the data used in this presentation is reliable and trustworthy. This is because we managed to obtain the data from recognized resources such as Bernama, which is the Malaysian National News Agency, as well as MyCERT, which is the Malaysia Computer Emergency Response Team. These organizations collect real cybersecurity data based on actual reported incidents, and then there is no assumptions or estimations that are used. In addition, the data is presented in the form of charts, which make it easier for us to understand and compare the trends over time. Because of this, we can confidently analyze the patterns of cybersecurity incidents that happens and draw meaningful conclusions. Therefore, the information used in this study is both valid and suitable for our presentation. Next, I will explain the background of this topic. Okay. Cyber incidents refer to any malicious or unauthorized activities that target digital systems, network, or personal devices. These attacks are usually intended to steal sensitive information, disrupt services, or gain illegal access to another systems. One of the most significant impacts of cyber incidents is financial loss, especially through fraud cases. Fraud remains the most common type of cybercrime, where attackers use deception or trickery to obtain money or valuable information from the victims. Besides that, cyber incidents can also disrupt important services and infrastructure, which may affect some of the business, organizations, and even national security. As our world becomes more modernized and dependent on digital technology, the risk of cybercrime continues to increase. This makes cybersecurity an important issue that everyone should be aware of. Now, moving on to the central idea of this presentation, which is that although there are many different types of cyber threats, fraud is clearly the most common type of incidents that happen. At the same time, large-scale cyber attacks have shown a significant increase, especially after the year 2017. This indicates that cyber threats are not only becoming more frequent, but also more serious over time. Now I will move on to chart number one, which is the paired bar chart. Okay, so this chart shows that the different types of cybersecurity incidents reported between 2018 and 2023. The data was obtained from Bernama based on statistics collected by MyCert. The chart includes several categories such as fraud, spam, malicious code, intrusion, denial of service, and vulnerability reports. From the chart, we can clearly see that fraud is the most frequent incident every year compared to other types of cybercrime. Looking more closely to the data, fraud cases increased significantly from 5,000 cases in 2018 to 7,900 cases in 2019. This shows a sharp rise of 2,900 cases within just 1 year. However, after 2019, the number of fraud cases began to decrease gradually. There was a slight decline in 2020 and 2021, followed by a more noticeable drop to 4,700 cases in 2022, and further down to only 2,000 cases reported in 2023. In contrast, in contrast, other types of incidents such as spam, content-related issues, denial of service, and vulnerability reports remain relatively low throughout the entire period. Each of these categories recorded fewer than 1,000 cases per year, showing that they are less common compared to fraud cases. For malicious codes incidents, the data shows that it was relatively high in 2018, with about 1,800 cases recorded. However, the number decreased steadily in the following years, indicating a downward trend. Meanwhile, intrusion cases showed a slightly different pattern, which is there was a small increase in from 2018 to 2020, but after that, the number of cases began to decline consistently from 2021 to 2023. Now, in terms of analysis, the data suggests that fraud remains the dominant cybercrime because it is easier for attackers to carry out, which is if it often involves simple techniques such as phishing, scams, or deception, which can easily target the individuals. At the same time, the overall decreasing trend in most categories after 2019 may indicate that cybersecurity measures have improved. It could also suggest that people are becoming more aware of online threats and are taking better precautions to protect their data. In summary, chart number one shows that while fraud continues to be the most common cybersecurity incident, most types of cybercrime have shown a declining trend in recent years. This reflects possible improvements in cybersecurity systems, awareness, and preventive measures. That is all from my part. Thank you.
Now, let's move on into the second chart. We have seen what has happening in locally, which is Malaysia on the first chart, but what's really happened around the world. This second chart is the line graph tracking a significant global cybersecurity events from 2005 all the way to 2021. For the first decade, from 2005 until 2016, this line is relatively flat. It stays below 50 major incidents a year. This was the phase where the internet was becoming part of our daily life. But take a look what happened in 2017. The line stopped being a gentle slope and becoming more like a mountain climb. In 2022, we hit a historical peak of nearly 140 major global incidents. Think about what happened that year. The COVID-19 pandemic forced us and the entire world to work from home. And suddenly, the entire global economy was running on home Wi-Fi and Zoom calls. The incident counts nearly tripled compared to 2016. Criminals are opportunistic. when they saw the whole world shifting to this tele-networking. With the less secure home setup, they strike and they take opportunity. Even though there was a small dip in 2021, which have 122 incidents, the overall trend is still violently upward. We are not going back to the quiet days of 2005. As a conclusion, there's a one thing we want to leave you with. Cybercrime is not something just happened to the big corporation or government. As we saw in the first chart, frauds against, frauds against individuals are the most frequent case. Anyone, literally anyone, can be the victim if their personal data do not safeguard properly. The data doesn't lie, threats are more becoming more aggressive and more frequent. Whether it's just a simple fraud or a massive global breach caused by the pandemic shift, our digital world is under constant pressure. So, our advice, treat your personal data like your physical wallet. You will not leave your physical wallet open on a park beach. So, don't leave your digital life unprotected. You must use a strong password, be skeptical of a weird link, and stay informed of the cybercrime. That's all from us. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Adib and Azim. All right. So hope to see you in week 8. All right. Later on, I will provide you a document so you can paste the link of the recording. Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Okay. Take care. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Madam dah keluar. Ayalah. Stop recording.